black skin, white mask. Already know that life gets hard. And they say that we're used to the harshness. If it wasn't for the pain, I'd laugh. Truth is we knew about light before dark. Turned music to art and taught everyone to dance. And still no chance. Freedom must be too much to ask. Bleeding from the ache in my heart. Sometimes I wish it was whites in the middle like France. No, I'm not racist, just jarred. Got hate before bush, not plants. They say we should leave it all in the past, but my brother's still dying on the end, so I can't. So if my attitude stinks, don't ask, cause a hashtag won't help you understand my stance. Fuck a melody, this is real rap if you ever see. Head hot, cause the system won't let me be. Tell me how I thrive in a place that don't cherish me. And they wonder why we all need therapy. Pre the energy, yeah, just another nigga to Penelope. And they don't get it how we bottom of the barrel and still drip sauce on the world, no recipe. Weight of the world on my shoulders, all the pressures in life still tightly holding. We pour libation for all of the fallen soldiers, but the pain still goes unspoken. They want us to stay broken, never gonna fall, fuck folding. I see my people lost hope, shit, don't you know we all been chosen.
We are oppressed, we are exploited, we are downtrodden, we are denied not only civil rights but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Forgive me if you don't understand. Sorry, I'm just misunderstood. Punished if I try to take a stand. Meanwhile, my friends dying in the hood. And you can say that we're killing ourselves, but truth is they're killing us still. How you saying Black Lives Matter, but never took a moment to help. Just a trend that you post for yourself. And yeah, it takes a toll on my health, cause I want wealth like everyone else. But it's 10 times harder for me. And they wonder why my brothers put food on a scale. Yeah, when I die I'll see heaven, that's real. Cause we already living in hell. Wish I could share all the pain I felt. Oh well, I guess I won't speak till my scars do heal. I just wanna be black with a mill. Yeah, that's for every time I had no meals. Cause my mother couldn't keep up the bills. With a handful of kids, no home, just a cell. And I don't care if conscious don't sell. Knowledge brings height to an elf. Went from sitting on thrones to a cell. Been blessed, man, it wasn't by chance we fell. Weight of the world on my shoulders, all the pressures in life still tightly holding. We pour libation for all of the fallen soldiers, but the pain still goes unspoken. They want us to stay broken, never gonna fall, fuck folding. I see my people lost hope, shit, don't you know we all been chosen.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Yeah, this is real life. Kakimia scare. Real talk. We're coming from the ghetto. Kinondoni Dar Islam, Tanzania mpaka UK. The world finest. Yeah. Pambana kijana. Life is too hard, life is too short. Shaa kwa nango cha ghetto. Usikate tamaa. Jua kwamba ipo siku tutatoboa. Tutatoka. Gang for life. I am the true name.
Yes, blessed love, family, blessed love, Hurricane Toya, and any other mod that's in here. I think you might be on your own today, you know, sis. I got a few messages saying that people are busy or at work. So you might be on your own, but I don't anticipate any combat, my sister. Blessed love, his time is up, family. All of the faithfuls on straight away tonight. I kind of knew that there would be a... Am I clear, guys? Is my picture a bit fuzzy? Let me know. Give me a 1 if my picture's fuzzy. Give me a 2 if it's okay. Because it's looking great on one monitor and not so great on the other, so I don't know. I really don't know. Blessings, all the regulars, all the members, blessings. Oh, brilliant. So you can see me clearly. Oh, you can't. What did I say again? Was it 1 for no and 2 for yes? I can't remember. Give me a 1 if you can see me, a 2 if you can't. I think that's what I said. Well, good anyway. You can see me. Blessed love, people. Listen, today's live. I'm fuzzy. Shit. I don't know what to say to you guys. It was all right last week. It is what it is. Let's get through it as much as we possibly can. I think it's clearing up a little bit. Look, I felt the need. I was compelled to dedicate this live to the struggle and the revolution that is taking place right now across the world in support of Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. I need to do that. I have to do that. I am a Pan-Africanist at my core. That is my politics. That is my belief system. That is the way I live, I think, and I breathe. So for a monumental occasion such as this is no normal revolution, and we're going to get into it tonight. I'm hoping that we can put a panel together. I'm going to put the invite out straight away. And if anyone wants to jump on and join that conversation. And tonight we're looking at why it is that Black Britain should absolutely be supporting the brother. That's what it is. I had a couple of idiot DMs from fake accounts. It's never anyone real, isn't it? Saying, oh, I thought your platform was about whatever. I didn't even answer them. Since when do Black people exist in a vacuum? Since when do our issues not interconnect? The very fact that Africa ain't free and we were taken in the way that we were taken is part of the reason why we have intergenerational sexual abuse in our community. Duh. People need to wake up. They really do. And I've been increasingly frustrated in the last year or so with Black Britain. I've been increasingly frustrated because we are the most apathetic, asleep set of people in the whole of the diaspora, as far as I'm concerned. Look at France. I'll show you some rushes in a minute. But France came out in their hundreds of thousands, Black France, you know, across the world. Obviously, we expect Africa to have massive numbers, which they did. The Caribbean did their bit, but they're small nations. You understand what I'm saying? For us, it was I don't even think there was 1,000 people there. I don't think there was. There was a good few hundred, you know? And even testament on this live tonight, when I'm talking about stuff that they would consider to be gossip, even though it isn't gossip that we deal with here, yeah, the numbers are swelling straight away. They're all queued up in the live before I'm doing it. Now we've got the faithful. That's what we've got. A small cohort of people that actually want solutions to our problems, because our problems are interconnected. I keep saying it. There is absolutely no way that any of it is happening in isolation. Thank you, Lioness Ma. Thank you very much. It is Pan-African. And the fact that we seek solutions for the issues that we have over our sojourn in this reality is also a Pan-African ideology, that we want to be in control of our own destiny, steer our own ship, deal with our own issues, our own shit, because God knows the powers that be are definitely not helping us. They're not. So let's have a look at what's been happening over the last couple of days for those of you that don't know, that's been under a rock. And also for people, a lot of people watch this channel because they don't have any other access to social media. A lot of the olders watch this channel for that reason. And so they may not have been up to date, because God knows it isn't on the news, is it? They may not be up to date with what is going on. We are sitting on the precipice of a massive, massive, massive shift in consciousness and in reality. Do you understand? Babylon is truly falling. We chanted it forever and forever. Blessed love, Jay Gregory. I see that you've got the icon. I'm driving that as well. Everybody in solidarity is putting up Traoré's image. And this seems to be the popular one, the one with Selassie behind him. That's definitely the one that I'm styling. It was the Jamaicans, I think, that came out with that. You know that they got to have Selassie at the center of everything, Rasta man. There's nothing wrong with that. That's their belief. That's great. But yeah, I love this image, to be fair. It's really nice. It's a very poignant image. So that's the image that's being put up. Screenshot it if you don't already have it off of this live, and put it up on your socials, on your status. If you don't have anything but WhatsApp, put it up on your WhatsApp status. That's what, if it's nothing else that you can do to show a sign of solidarity, do that. Absolutely do that. I also love this image that's come out and it's a quote from Captain Ibrahim. It says, "We are in a world of predation. To have peace, we must make war. Therefore, wage war." Now, that is my kind of hombre. Listen, the world is lucky that I'm not a young woman anymore, you know. I'm telling you now, because I don't believe the brother's married. I'll be straight over there. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because that's the kind of black man I'm talking about. Not these beta males around here that do as their master tells them, do their master's bidding, too frightened to rise up, too frightened to make a move. Do you know what I mean? I know people that's been in the same job for God knows how long. They are absolutely miserable to the point where it's affecting their vibrational frequency, and they don't even make a move to try and change that reality. I cannot operate. Absolutely. I'm not judging anybody. All I'm saying is that Afua Rose cannot operate in that kind of reality. And I'm feeling that in the heaviness of this atmosphere more and more and more. I'm a spiritually connected woman. I feel energies hard, you know? Oh, he is married, Angor. Oh, there you go. Well, look, he's a Muslim and he's an African man. So I'm pretty sure that polygamy is not off the table. I'm pretty sure, but I'm a little bit old. I'm not of childbearing age, so I don't think they'll have any use for me in the camp. I want a portrait as well. Definitely going to be doing that. That's one of the ones that have to go up alongside Marcus Garvey and all the other great ones, you know. But I'm going to show some of the rushes. And Shaka Ra, our brother Shaka Ra from Al-Kebalan Revivalist Movement originally, but, you know, he's flying his own ship right now. I remember the little boy from Al-Kebalan Revivalist Movement, and his dad, his father, brother, leader, Mbandaka, because that was his name. And it's so beautiful to see the fruit of that come up and stand on his own 2 feet in his own right and carry the torch forward. It's so beautiful. Every time I see him, I think he thinks, oh my God, why is this auntie always like crooning over me? But I just remember him. I remember his big smile, because Al-Kebalan Revivalist Movement, when we used to do a lot of events and gatherings and whatever, and what we did in those days as a community, you know, the Afrocentric community, Al-Kebalan Revivalist Movement was a massive, massive part of that. And they always used to come out with all their children. They were a big movement, and they had a lot of sisters and a lot of, you know, marriages and people, and they had a lot of children. But these children were super talented. They could sing and dance like wow. And they used to run like African storytelling and all of that. And Shaka Ra was very much central to that. You know, I don't know if he's ever told that story himself, but I remember that boy. And now we see the man, and he was there with his son as well. You know, it was just beautiful. It was just so beautiful to see and to watch that. And there was me crooning as always. But listen, let's get into Captain Ibrahim. I'm going to show some clips for those of you that don't already know and see the brother. And then we'll kind of chop it up from there. And hopefully we'll get the link out. I'll put it on from now anyway. And I'll put it out again. Jump on if you want to have the conversation. It will be really good to have that conversation because we need to have it. It was short notice for me to get a panel together of, you know, real thinkers. Not saying you guys aren't, but people that would be able to commentate on this and who do commentate on it. It was very, very short notice. One of my brothers said that he was going to try and, oh, that reminds me. I said I was going to show him fling him the link. But let's see. Let me try and do that now while we're doing our thing. As I said it, I just remembered when I spoke to him today, he was like, yeah, send me the link. I'll see if I can jump on, but I'm working. Crystal says, and when I get the $2 million from USA and France, I will marry Ibrahim Traoré and refer to him as my husband, whether he know it or not. Absolutely, Crystal. Absolutely. Right, let's have a look, brothers and sisters.
In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend all over the place. But there is a country that could not defend itself, which had to come and take our ancestors to go defend them. And today that same country wants to give us lessons. The pot. In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend all over the place. But there is a country that could not defend itself, which had to come and take our ancestors to go defend them. And today that same country wants to give us lessons. The pot calling the kettle black. "80% of my time it's war, but that doesn't stop us from keeping an eye on the economic life in power. It's a promise you made to me, and I want you to keep your promise. I don't want to hear anymore. We're being attacked. We see them coming. We agree, right? You will mobilize your people to dig trenches and protect yourselves. By the time the machines arrive at your place to deepen the trenches and do it, it's you who defend the communities, the villages. If you get there, you tell them, get out, we're digging here. The enemy must not roll through here. We dig deep, we close it off, and we settle over there. Your own post's there. And at one point I had something worked out and I said, send it to you. Everyone has talked to you about it, the ministers, the BVDP, so that people build, for example, combat posts. Where the rain hasn't really started yet, make the bricks well, build the posts. I asked for images of the different posts in some villages. And I saw that some have done it with laziness as well. You can't have a post even if you built all that down there. And there, your head is out. How are you fighting? Well, the image we sent shows there are loopholes. These are the holes through which you have to fight. And when we say to build posts, we don't mean to build just one or two. It needs to be done all around the village, because combat isn't just about one position. Others are building 3 or 4 posts. That's good for the village. No, get the villagers out, have them build. We provided some models. But tell me, just between us, you know, there are many unbuilt positions. No. What am I supposed to do? Do I have to come and build it myself in your place? But if I tell you that this thing was thought out in my office, and I got a young officer who made the 3D model, and we spread the word, and I told the different leaders to make sure it gets done. It's because even at every moment, we're thinking of you. We're thinking of you. I'm saying there isn't a single incident, attack on the VDP post, or whatever. I'm not aware. There aren't any. Unfortunately, in some areas, people have refused to give themselves up. It's an understanding for our own lives. Who is going to pay you? After, we still shout that there are a minimum of things we should be able to do ourselves. I told you that most of you, like me, were born into a system, a caring system, where a lot is expected from others. But what are we doing ourselves for our country? That's it. That's the question we need to ask ourselves now. When I learned that, I was a bit disappointed. Protect yourself. 80% of my time, it's war. Today in Burkina Faso, they have a certainty. Terrorism is almost over. What needs to be done? Either create a rebellion or start a civil war. That's it. And they are maneuvering for that. We are waiting for them. And everyone needs to be careful at their own level. Because if people allow themselves to be manipulated, they will be lined up and lit up like the others as well. Manipulation must not succeed. We have a goal to achieve, and we will achieve it. Today in Burkina Faso, they have a certainty. Terrorism is almost over.
So we're going to look a little bit more at him later on. I do want people to jump on, guys. We need to have this conversation. It's a community conversation. Let us jump on and let us have that conversation, guys. Let me put the link out again. If not, I'll have the conversation on my own, but we need to air it and voice it. We'll have a look a bit more. I'm gonna show the full speech towards the end that actually made him a target. That full speech there. We all need to learn French here fully and understand fully what this man is actually saying to us. But he does speak English. He does most of his addresses in French. He does speak English. Let's look at the effort across the world. And also, we'll start also with London and what we contributed to that effort. And then we're going to chop it up and talk about why this is so important for us as a people across the world. This is not just an African thing, like some guy was commenting on my page, oh, but you're not African. I can't. I'm trying to be demure. I can't with those people. I just wanted to cuss him off, but I just thought, you know what? I can't. It really infuriates me when people chat rubbish like that. Angor says, I cannot express how much I love this brother. Me too. It's almost like he's my son. Honestly, he's the same age as my oldest child. You know? I can't go a day without a dose of him. It is crazy because he's awakening our consciousness. That is what is happening. We are activating whether we like it or not. Now, those of us that are tuned into that have been activating for a long time, you know, we know what it is, but there's other people that this has caught them unawares, and you're going to activate whether you like it or not, because you are a melanated being. And if you fight it, you will perish. That is what is going on. Thank you, Miss Carola. Maza! Where to? That was the cry of the Winnie Mandela's cry of the apartheid movement, you know? So, look, as far as in fact, you know what? Let it speak for itself. Let us look at some of the Instagram rushes from yesterday. Sorry, from the day before yesterday, Wednesday. Brilliant. Hurricane Toya, lovely. Stay there a minute, sis. I'll mute you up and we're going to look at some good talk, yeah?
Yeah.
Bless. Come and join us. That's one of our mods. She can't do two things. Jump in. Right. Give us a moment and let's look at Instagram.
Sure. No man at you, man.
I know that Brother Zachariah is going to clean it up with some libation and some prayer. Let's do that. And that's the people that we are. Yeah? I just want to put out another message. I believe that all of us that call ourselves community leaders should be going to our hubs, wherever we are, and to be organizing on a local level. Yeah? I'm not afraid to say it. I asked the brother to put it out, this message that I'm about to put out earlier on, and he didn't feel comfortable doing it at this location. I don't really business where it is. Let us organize our youth. Let us organize our youth to go to Burkina Faso. All our young boys are quite to go to in the same way. In the same way that British Asians went to Syria to support the cause of Islam. Let us go to Burkina Faso and support the armed struggle for our own liberation. Because I'm condoning terrorism. I draw that comparison because I'm talking about the blind faith and the cohesion that exists in the Asian diaspora. We need that type of
Don't know why we've lost audio on that, people. Give me a moment. There's always a bloody technical, isn't there, people? Let me stop sharing and try that again, because God only knows why it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Give me a moment.
So we're live. So we are U.S. Embassy, right in Jamaica. Every Rasta there. And we are sending a message to America. Enough is enough. We don't not touch Ibrahim Troare. We don't not touch him. We don't use Obama. And we don't bomb up. We don't bomb up down so and take the Gaddafi from away. We don't not touch Ibrahim Traoré. And enough more people want to touch the way. Donald Trump and you, Mr. Langley, or where you want to name the captain, you need to understand. So the spirit of the ancestors are here. And a long time black people are hold back. No, we not hold back. If you touch Ibrahim, you touch Jamaicans. You touch the real Africans in Jamaica. And every American in Jamaica needs to be careful if we don't touch him. Are we serious? We're dead serious.
Very serious.
We're very serious.
Very, very serious.
And I'm not talking.
No, and the kingdom.
Yeah. See there, boy. See there. See there. Ibrahim Troare.
A blessing just for the Rastas.
Yes.
Pioneer the forefront of this. This concerns all Africans. Any destruction plan for the destruction of Africa concerns all of us. And we are saying, church pastors can ask you Sunday morning, Sabbath, church to send us, earth to send us. Any destruction of plan. You need to not only be concerned about myself, but the upliftment and liberation of all Africans. Anything of plan, anything just a return to send us.
Return to sender. We don't send CIA agents and all kind of people to destabilize people's economy. We're sick and tired of UNO, America and France and Europe. UNO go revolution.
Red, white, and blue.
Revolution.
Got nothing to do with you.
Revolution.
No red, white, and blue.
No red, white, and no blue.
Red, green, gold, and green. Remember me tell you.
An African lifestyle.
Back to some of those clips because it's giving me trouble and I can't be bothered. Blessed love, Hurricane Toya, blessed love. You know, one of the things that I was saying at the march is that we are on the precipice of the biggest revolution in post-slavery African experience. That's what I truly, truly believe, Hurricane Toya. And I feel for that reason that we are part of the diaspora. We keep on barling about the fact that we are not free. Even those that are not driven that way would agree that Black people still struggle, that we are not free, that we are still dealing with the after effects of colonization, enslavement, invasion, and complete onslaught and rape of the motherland, of the continent. We're still dealing with those things. All of the things that we see happening in our urban centers, in New York, in Miami, in Paris, in Lisbon, in London, is as a direct knock-on effect of those experiences and what those people did to us. And the fact that they gave us the illusion of independence, the fact that they gave us the illusion of freedom, and then handed us back another form of slavery. And anybody, any son of Africa that has dared to rise up like Ibrahim Traoré has, there's such a long list. It's literally a catalogue of African leaders that have stood up not only on the continent but also in the diaspora. I don't need to do a roll call, it would go on for too long, that have stood up against the West to try to end imperialism on the continent and take back control of our resources. Anybody ends up 6 feet under. So that is what this movement principally is about. The hashtag is hands off Traoré, because that's what it is. Hands off. I was reading something today, I was watching something today actually, where the people of Burkina Faso have taken to sleeping outside the man's residence because they're saying not on our watch. The whole world, the whole of the diaspora is saying not on our watch. And I find it really interesting that something of this magnitude has not been picked up by mainstream media. Well, we know why. We know why. It's not rocket science, you know? Blessed love, Hurricane Toy, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Oh, mate, I wish I could have been there on Wednesday, man. I was kicking myself because I've been saying for the past 2 years. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I've been saying for the past 2 years, the curse on the true Hebrew Israelites has been done. The 400-year curse is up.
It's up.
And now you're already seeing, with everything going on in the world, that a major karmatic change is happening to us. We're rising up where other nations are falling to pieces.
100%.
You know, those cave demons will say, oh, look, they've come to our countries, they've ruined their countries. No, you've been taken from their countries. Now you can't take so easily. Now you're getting taxed more because you're not getting the resources like you was getting for free before, or next to nothing. Mm-hmm. They gave us all this garbage about being, oh, you're independent of England, you're England's dependent of France. None of these countries are independent. Why? Because your resources are still coming back to the UK, and it's going back to France, it's going back to the Portuguese, the Belgium, Germany, Spain, all of it. That's what do you think Portugal and Spain had that blackout this week?
100%.
You think it ain't that ain't no, oh, it's a blackout, oh, because of the electricity went down. No, that's the Most High. He's gonna start playing with these people. You know what I mean? And when Obama went in, I just looked at him and I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to check to see who he's related to, his bloodline. And I can show you the clip. He's related to Bush, Senior and Junior.
That's right.
His bloodline, his white bloodline goes back to, basically, he's related to the royal family. So that's why he got the presidency. And they put him in order to re-enslave Africa. They're saying, look at the Chinese. No, look at you lot as well. Africa has no allies. So when I see a young man like this, born after me, 7 years after me, I'm looking at him thinking, boy, he's inspiring everyone. Even my mum's talking about this. This is someone that's not into all this Pan-African stuff. My aunt that passed away, she was into it, if you remember her. She was into it, but my mum was like, oh, it's got nothing to do with me. I'm going to bingo. She was not interested. Now, my mum's talking about him and sharing his videos. Watch this young man. Oh, la, 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 la. And I think, is this the same woman that gave birth to me for real? Because she's never been interested before.
But that's what I was saying earlier, is that we are going to activate whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
She's activating. That's what's happening.
I'm telling you, and my friend said it perfectly. We are not our ancestors. This generation is different.
Absolutely.
These new breed of Africans, I love them. Not only do they hold on to the fact that they don't say, oh, well, the ones I know, they don't say to Caribbean people, well, you're not African. No, we're all part of the diaspora, it's the one bloodline. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just I find it's the ignorant ones that are born here that will turn around and say, well, you're not African. But the ones from Africa that I've met, they've embraced me brilliantly. 100%. And they believe, and at some point, there's another sister that's on here, Sister Kerry Ann. She's from Jamaica. She talks about stuff. Even she's saying this is all part of the plan of Revelations.
Absolutely, 100%.
All of this is part of the plan, and it's amazing to see this young man. And I hope that every ancestor, every warrior spirit we've ever had protects him as long as possible. I mean, all they do is when a leader's doing too well for their country that's black, they got to get rid of them. Why do you think Jama from Gambia is still in exile? Now they got a sleeping president that's letting everyone's land go and letting everyone do whatever the hell they want there, but the crime rate's gone through the roof. At least this man's saying, no, I'm not having that here. The French have tried every tactic to discredit this guy. They even tried to befriend him. Oh, no, we're friends. And he's gone, no, you're not my friend. You enslaved us.
That's right.
And all these black men.
Switched on. And I know very switched on. And the fact
and another thing.
Yeah.
I know it's going to sound really bad saying this, but I'm going to say it. All the black men that have white women, you're going to have to pick a side at some point. Are you going to carry on chasing that side, or are you coming back to your motherland? Are you going to come back to your motherland and know who you are?
Well, there's going to be a conflict of interest, surely, at some stage.
Yeah, there's going to be a conflict of interest because they're laying down with the daughters. What's not Minister Farrakhan? Who was before Farrakhan? It's not Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad said when the YT people can't get you with their drugs, their gambling, their alcohol, they send their women.
100%.
He said it.
We've seen it.
I always stayed in, and I heard that saying from I was 8 years old, 9 years old. It always stayed with me.
We've seen so much example of it in terms of when black men get to the top of their game. Suddenly, the black woman is gone if they had one before. And
look at Ian, right? Yep.
All of them, including Vibes Cartel at the moment. And I remember during the 90s that there was a whole thing at the time when we had the apartheid movement rising up, just before they actually got to their goal. And it was really at fever pitch at that point. And I remember that there was a whole thing that came out about President Botha and what he called sex agents, that they were pouring down into the Zulu communities, these white women that would go and, pretend to fall in love with these guys, administer stuff into their food. There was a whole army of them. And I, for one, don't think people like that have gone anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I think that they've developed that.
But even during the times of slavery, they were more tough on us than the men at times. Because remember, the men were not around. The women were worse to any of us than the men were at times. When you actually sit down and read about it, some of the stuff that, going back to Emmett Till and all that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pick a side at some point. Do you want to stay sleeping?
Can I just say it's not that simple? Because for me, what we've got is a whole melting pot now. And listen, there's never been a liberation struggle that didn't have friends.
Yeah, definitely.
What we've got in this country is a really very unique thing, right? And that is multiculturalism. It's been the perfect experiment in this country, and it was put down as an experiment after the Rivers of Blood speech with Enoch Powell in the 1950s or 1960s.
That's true. Yeah.
They actually came up with the model of multiculturalism. It's been a social experiment ever since. And I think that the high amount of mixed race babies bears out that it has actually been a very, very successful experiment. Okay.
For them.
So, of course.
For them, yeah.
Right. Of course, it's going to be a conflict of interest. Of course, there's going to be brothers that have to choose a side if they're with the wrong white woman. But we've got a reality here that they don't have in any other part of the diaspora, namely Black America and so on, where we are actually all one. And we saw that when the EDL shit went down. That's how it is in this country. So we've got to consider that. You understand what I'm saying?
We can consider it, but like I said...
But what I'm saying is this, and this is where we don't get it twisted, because I come out of the loins of nation, most definitely. You know, I can't deny that. I come out of those loins. And there was a time when my rhetoric was peppered. I was looking for something the other day, actually, of me when I was like 21, when we brought Khalid over and somebody captured me saying stuff to the camera. They asked me to interview. And I wish I could find it, but it is so fiery, I dare not play it now. The things that I was saying.
Jesus.
You know? The things that I was...
Because I can imagine. I'm just...
Well, I'm standing there in front of the camera at 20-something years old, 23 years old, and I'm being asked, you know, about the occasion. And I'm saying, I think that it is absolutely fitting for us to bring Dr. Khalid here to Broadwater Farm on the very place we stand on the ground where we chop that cracker's head clean from his shoulder, that blue-eyed devil, and I'm going into
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't advocate that. I'm a bit...
Hear what I'm saying here, because we know Blacklock's head was cut off during the Broadwater Farm riots. That's what I was alluding to, right? But what I'm saying is that we live, we learn, and we grow, and we move on. And I know that in this country, I'm saying it's very specific to this country. I wouldn't trust white Americans that way.
No.
Don't have history in the same way that we have a history of going to school, coming up. You know, of course you have individuals that have that, but as a community, as whole communities, doesn't happen in America. They're very segregated. We have that.
Completely and utterly segregated.
But what I don't want is appropriation. What I don't want is, as usual, our white so-called brethren starting to control the narrative. Fall in, innit? Fall in. And I've always said to white people as well, if you really want to help the cause, go back and educate your own people.
Your people. That's right.
So you can be our comrades, but I certainly don't agree with you joining our organizations. And that's what I'm about. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I was disappointed I couldn't get down there, but my dad represented for me. He said he was sick, and I don't know, he got there. He was like, nope, I'm going. And he just kept saying, where are the young ones?
Yeah.
He kept saying, where are the young ones? I said, Dad, I can't speak for this new generation of youths. I said, I was born 1981. I can't speak for anyone that's born after 1990. I'm just so sorry. We just need to see that everything they fed us. The Chinese proved it the other day. Your Gucci bag that you pay $2,000 for only cost 20 quid to make. Stop giving these people your money and start investing in Africa and investing in home.
100%.
Even if you don't feel to go to Africa, what about the Caribbean? What about Brazil? Because those are going to be the countries to watch.
To be honest,
especially Africa.
Well, to be honest, South America, yes. This is my opinion. South America, yes. Africa, of course. But when it comes on to the Caribbean, for the times that we're entering into, I believe it's going to be an extremely unstable region. It is a set of islands, just like here. Here will not be the best place to be. Because when you run, you're hitting water. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when it comes on to Jamaica, as the saying has always been, if America sneeze, Jamaica catch cold. You understand what I'm saying? It's one nuke will send that straight to the bottom of the Caribbean Sea. All of them islands. When it kicks off. Do you understand
it's gonna kick off though. I know.
Love our place. It's not gonna be
They don't want to lose their power. They know they're losing it. They know the curse is up. And they know we're all waking up.
Absolutely. It's up. It's been up. It's been up. And that's what I was explaining to my son, because people think, you just chat for rhetoric and whatever. I called my son today, I called my son today and I had a very serious conversation with him. We had differences of opinion, but, I have to say he's a mujahid in his own right. He forms his own original thought, which is what I
Yeah,
taught
you
him.
have to. You have to.
Yeah, but I was saying to him, like, how about you take your son, my grandson, and get out to Burkina Faso? And, you know, we broke it down. He said that I was crazy. He would rather stay here and blow up embassies than go to Burkina Faso, because what his reasoning is that at this particular time is not our fight. They've got enough young people there. Africa has the highest population of young people on the planet.
That's right.
And they've got enough fighting men on that continent. We need to defend what is happening here. And he does have an argument. What I was trying to get him to see is that it is not singular. It is completely multifaceted. One is not to the negation of the other. So, of course, you're going to have a cohort of people that want urban warfare. They want to stay behind enemy lines and wage urban warfare. You've got those who want to come to the front line and fight with the motherland. You know, when you have...
What I saw that was beautiful too. Even the Nigerians and the Ghanaians are saying, leave him alone. It's not just one country. Just leave him alone. And if they're more fighting for him than their own president, what would that tell you? He's doing what he's meant to be doing for his people. He's educating people. He's giving them jobs. He's giving them homes. The Gambian president, all he's done since he's been is sleep and give away people's land.
Well, I saw this other piece of footage that I was looking through today, and I had no idea until today. But they showed Côte d'Ivoire, they showed the president of Côte d'Ivoire, they showed quite a few African presidents, mostly French-speaking, that are suddenly all married to white women.
Oh, Lord.
And the narrator was asking the question, what the hell is going on? Because these men used to have black women, they got black children. Why have they suddenly become divorced and been married to these French women? And when you start digging down in these French women's past, they're all elite, of course. Do you understand? They're trying to control the narrative.
They're trying to control, like Elijah Muhammad said, when they can't get you with their drugs, their guns and everything else. That's when they'll send you that. And we as black people need to say, look, nah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wear weaves, so every white guy sees me and thinks, she's an easy one for me, and I'm like, nah. And black people look at me funny, like, oh, well, she wears weaves, so she can't be with us. Sorry, but a lot of women that wear weaves are for the cause, and a lot of them with the locks are for the fall. There's a lot of people that
I don't want it to turn into a debate about race, but I do know a lot of that are with white men that tend to have locks, so I don't think we can judge people by their hairstyle anymore. There was a time.
I do get it. No, I do get it. Trust me.
Yeah, there was a time when it was about that. It was about the self-hatred, the same reason people bleach and whatever. I think we've moved on from then. I think it really is about style now, weaves, and it was bloody awful. In the kind of mid-90s when sisters were wearing blonde wigs and blue contact lenses. It was horrible. I hated it.
No, the contact lenses, I couldn't stand that. I really couldn't. Right. I couldn't get down with it.
It was usually the ones that had an issue. But, look, this is back to the fact that if once Africa is free, we will all be free. We will have choices.
That's exactly what we need to do. We need to set ourselves free. The curse is up. We've got no more excuses. We can't turn around and say, oh, it's because of slavery, it's because of civil rights, it's because of coming over and Enoch Powell, Windrush was treated a certain way. We can't say that no more. We need to say no and stand up. And it's amazing. Someone born in the 80s, just like me, is lighting the fire. That's amazing.
Sis, do you agree that we should... What do you think we should do? Do you think we should stay here and fight? Do you think that we should go over there and fight? And when I say fight, I don't mean on the front line. I think I just saw a comment by Anne Gore when she was saying when she was younger, even if we're old women have definitely been part of war efforts and revolution efforts.
Especially Winnie Mandela.
Winnie Mandela took it right up to the day she did. So... the point of the matter is that I give the Mau Mau as an example because they waged an excellent war on the British and got their freedom, their so-called independence.
And Nanny, the Maroons too. I'm making
a point about the Mau Mau. You had the men fighting on the front line, and the women were in the interior, in the jungle, deep in the jungle. They formed whole communities in the jungle that the white man couldn't get to. You understand? And the women used to look after that base camp, and they would control the comms and the radios and the operations from their location, and the man then was on the front line. So the point I'm making is that warfare is not one stroke. It has to be on every conceivable level. If you look at the Second World War, when you had the French resistance in Paris against the Germans, it was so complete, so what's the word I'm looking for? It was so diverse in its existence, that's why they couldn't beat it. Because the little old lady with her shopping trolley, the teacher, the priest, everybody was part of the French resistance.
I know during Vietnamese war, they tied bombs to their children and sent them into their camps. They said they'd rather their kids die than give up their land to the Americans.
There you go. So when I say that we need to send our fighting age boys that are giving trouble over here, stabbing up their one another, seeing as they love combat,
they should all go there. They should all go there.
Let us make it mandatory. Let us try and do a deal with the British court, seeing as you say that you want rid of all of it, but they would never do that. They don't want rid of it.
They don't want rid of it because they make money out of it. And the kids that die, the organs go to them anyway. You think you're burying your child fully. You're sadly mistaken. You don't listen.
You just talk to T. Cribs in East London. Big giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talk to them. You know
they're millionaire billionaires, organ harvesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think they should all go fight out there. That would be brilliant for them.
Yeah.
Put their skills and give them knowledge. It might make them stronger men.
Well, you know, some of them are going to die, aren't they? And that's actually why everybody would say you're crazy, you're mad. I'm not sending my son out there to die. And that's the reason why we have a difficulty being free. And that's it.
Yep.
If you can't die, even, you know, there's a verse that I wrote a long time ago, and I really only do it at kind of occasions like the one on Wednesday. I didn't do it on Wednesday, but I usually do it at those type of occasions now. And it says, I take my freedom lest I die, for pride runs through my veins, not blood, and principles support me, so that I with lifted head see liberty, not sky. For I am she who dares to say, I shall be dead or free today. You understand? And that's right. If we haven't got that kind of mindset in this argument, then we might as well just drop it and carry on. Is it the red
being
pill?
slaves? Yeah.
Is it the red pill or the blue pill? Take back whatever pill it is and put us back to sleep. That's what it is. Because everybody's in the sunken place right now. And I say everybody. I asked the brother, yeah? I ain't necessarily going to say his name. The video evidence shows who I'm talking about. But I asked the brother, because I was going to run what I said in terms of our boys going to fight over there. But I didn't run it at first. I just said what I said. And I was anxious to get brother on because he's an elder to me. He's also a principal person in our community. And while he was talking, he took a pause for the crowd to cheer or whatever. And I was right behind him and I whispered in his ears, brother, I was going to say it, but you say it about the brothers, the boys going over there. And he turned to me and he said, absolutely excellent idea, sister, but not here. And I thought, but if not here, then where, Black man? But you know what? I kind of went to get mad with him. And then I thought, you know what? I remember a time when this brother would have burned that and some in terms of fire every Sunday in his 30s and 40s at Speaker's Corner. Every Sunday without fail. He used to burn down, lava splash the place, that brother there. And I looked at him and I thought, you're tired. You are tired. So it's back to what your brother said, your dad said, Hurricane Toya. Where are the youth? Now, I firmly believe, and this is a conversation I had with my son, he agrees. As far as I'm concerned, and I had the same conversation with another brother earlier on as well, and he was echoing the same thing. The youths aren't going to move until they see action. You know?
True.
Until they see smoke, they're not about nothing else. They're not like us where it was a revolution of knowledge and information all of that. These youths have got names like Heru and Imhotep. They already know. Now they want the action side. They want change. That's what we're seeing, sis. So when we're doing our marching and our beating our drum, and they do understand that we're raising the spirit of the ancestors when we do that, but they don't care about that. They just want smoke. That's it. And the minute we bring that, you'll see the youths falling. We saw it with the EDL thing. Straight. Suddenly all beef was put down on Snapchat.
It was all forgotten. It was totally right.
It was all forgotten.
It was just like, you know what, to hell with this. We got things to do, kind of thing. It was beautiful to see.
Beautiful. And it gave me faith, because I'd lost faith, to be fair, with their shenanigans, this generation. But it gave me faith.
I'm not gonna lie to you, because I've worked in a court, a prison and a detention centre. And when people say, well, what should we do about knife crime? You know what I always say? I don't even have no answers no more. Because I was talking to these kids till I was blue in the face to tell them how special they were, how they are diamonds. And if you take one life and you lose your life to the system, there ain't much going to be going for you after that. I know you've lost your friend and you're trying to avenge your friend, but
they're not hearing that.
Why? They don't want to hear it. They're on this revenge, and it's like, my God. So when people ask me, I was just like, you know what, I can't even say, I just don't know.
African Caribbean Diaspora Talk says, what is the revolution in the UK? Well, the fact of the matter, brother, is there ain't one. That's kind of what we're saying. There isn't a revolution. The revolution actually is happening in Africa. It's happening in our motherland, you know? Miss Carol says, what
happens at home in Africa could spark the rest of the world to stand up. Precisely. I want to see the black people in Australia, New Zealand, the Fiji Islands. I want everyone standing up.
Well, they were on Wednesday. They were in Australia as well. They were there.
Trust me.
So that's why this thing is so important. Miss Carol says, Afua, what about organising a trip to Burkina Faso? Best trip ever. It's already underway. I was talking to a few of the Akis at the march, and it's already underway. That's what's going on. So don't worry about that. You guys are going to see that coming real soon. We're not ramping. It's time. It's time. It is time.
It's time.
Listen, I'm gonna.
I hope the rest of Africa come together.
Yeah.
Don't do him like they did Gaddafi and everyone else. Don't do him like that. Do not do him like that.
What needs to happen is this, because we're going to have casualties, and I've no doubt that, you know, they're never ever going to stop until they try to do this man something. Whether or not they prevail, they really are not going to stop.
If they do prevail, we should just go nuts.
Listen, there is a big possibility that they could touch him. There's a possibility of it. There's a probability of it. And he knows it. We all know it. That's why he's prepared. Yeah? What we need to do, and what I believe he's doing, is what we've never done. And that is that we line up 10 soldiers behind us for that eventuality. Because that's what we never see happen. It just one guy is up there killing off themselves, doing what they're doing, and they've got nobody else behind them to take the reins in the eventuality of what they know is coming. I believe that Ibrahim Traoré is trying to make that not happen. And I also believe that if they touch him, you're going to see an explosion and a reaction from the diaspora, from black people all over the world that I don't think they're going to be expecting. And I'm hoping that's what it will be. But I think
that's what I'm hoping for. If they ever even attempt to, that everyone just like, hell no, we ain't having this. If we could do it for George Floyd, who we didn't know.
Thank you.
And you know what I mean? What can we do for someone?
Anything. We don't know Traoré either, but George Floyd was just a civilian doing nothing, and he got killed.
Doing absolutely nothing.
This is an actual head of state, a son, a prince of Africa, trying to end imperialism. Why wouldn't we stand behind him?
Exactly. I'm gonna let someone else have a chance to speak now.
All right, bless up, my sister. Bless up.
Night, everybody. Well, I'm not going to sleep, but yeah.
Night. Bless up, bless up, bless up. African diaspora is saying, but what is this revolution that needs to take place? Most African nations are imperial, periphery, capitalist countries. The wealth is hoarded. I think this is much deeper than unity. This is what the brother is trying to change, brother. He calls these African states that take the backhanders from the West in order to get a ticket to plunder their own economies and countries and leave the people in absolute terror and poverty. He calls them armchair and drawing room slaves. The man's come to end the regime. That's what he's come to do. So this is what we're talking about. And one of the things that I'm very mindful of our people, because I've been talking a lot since this whole thing started in 2023, to be fair, and we've seen it snowball. But we are so battle worn. We want to see solution overnight. We don't understand that this thing has to pass from generation to generation before it comes to its conclusion. You're here to do your bit in your season. You might not see the end goal, but because we lose sight of that and we operate in such a singular entity, this is why we're failing. There was a time when we understood the longevity of our seed. You know, we understood where we're coming from in that longevity as well with our ancestors. We understood that we will become ancestors for our future generations. We just understood all of that. Now, we don't understand all of that. We want to see everything here in this reality. Well, it ain't going to happen in my lifetime. So what does that mean then? What does that mean? Does that mean that you don't partake in the struggle in your lifetime? Is that how wars are won? Some wars go on for 100 years. The victor, it's because they've stuck at it generation after generation, Lord God. They've done such a number on us, people. But listen, I'm going to have to wrap it up quicker than I would have liked. I could go on all night about this. I'm actually going to see Sinners. I've heard it's amazing. I'm taking baby Afua and Blue, and we're all going to roll to late night pickies tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that. I actually had an offer of a date at the flicks to go and see it, but I'd much rather go with my girls. So I'm going tonight, and the film starts in an hour. So I'm going to wrap it up. Let's look at a little bit more footage before we go. Hurricane Toy is right when she talks about the 400-year curse, but that's another deepness that we can go into. As I said, I want to have more of these conversations on a different day than Friday, and it won't be called Afua Speaks Community Conversations. It will be called Shoot the Breeze with Afua, and it's from a format of a very successful radio show that I had running on Energy Radio in 2011, and it was called Shoot the Breeze with Afua. So I'm going to try and bring that format to the screen. And I think we just need to keep talking. We need to keep talking because there's going to come a point when these conversations turn into strategy. There's going to come a point where we will have no choice but to turn them into strategy. And I don't want to scare people. I don't want to shake you too much. Well, I do want to shake you up out of your slumber, actually. I do want to say, shake you up out of your slumber because we're asleep. And when it licks, you know, when you wake up out of your sleep too bad, like you wake up suddenly, it's a very disconcerting feeling. That is how it's going to hit a lot of people when it does come. We are on the brink of World War III. And what does that look like for the UK in this place? Yeah? You people are going to get conscripted. These youths that are stabbing each other now are going to get conscripted to fight for Britain, whether they like it or not, or face jail. And at that point, people are going to think, well, actually, maybe Afua's plan weren't so bad. For them to go, do you understand? Come on, guys, man. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. We've become so much in a slumber, so desensitized. We've never experienced war on these shores since we've been here. Remember, we came in 3 years after the Second World War, and there's been no war since. Not on these shores. It's always fought abroad. So when it lit Yasser, tell me where we're going to be. Tell me where we're going to be with all the other troubles that we got going on, with everybody in our community offing each other, stabbing up their one another, the dirty old uncles nonsense off the girl children, the boy children, whoever, just all the mess. Where are we going to be? That's the point I'm trying to make. We need to organize and centralize, like we've been saying for 100 years, at least since Garvey come and tried to jerk us up. We need to organize and centralize. And now is the opportune time when the ancestors, the Most High, and every element is behind us. If we miss this window of opportunity, we go back into another 400 years of bondage, and it will be our own fault. We can't blame nobody after that. That's the point, people. But as I said, let's have a look at a few more bits, and I'm going to have to ring off.
This is such an amazing display of melanated power in the heart of London. It really, really is. I would have liked to have seen it a lot bigger, but you know what? Everybody that's supposed to be here right now is absolutely here. And we need to be lending our energy collectively to this cause. At a time when Africa is facing its biggest fight in modern history, we need to be coming together in this capacity. And I would like to see this come together every single week, like we did when it came on to the COVID vaccines in Leicester Square every single week, and put the pressure on the neck of not just France, but all of the Western imperialist powers. That is what we need to be doing. That is what we need to be doing. Yeah? We need to recognize that we are standing on the precipice of the most important turnaround in history. Not only the fact that the powers that be are organizing themselves for what is called the Great Reset, yeah? That is going to come with a hell of a lot of challenges for melanated people. And so we are in season right now. We're seeing this fold out. Brother Leo will remember 1984 LA Forum, Minister Louis Farrakhan's speech, where he predicted this very moment, where we would see the coming together of melanated people and the coming together of the diaspora under one accord. Yeah? One accord. When our songwriter said, none of them shall stop the time. That was one of the most poignant lines of verse that was ever written. They are got tired pursuing fierce, and none of them can stop the time. I'm going to speak to you guys again when we get to the embassy. Put your hands together, people, for one of our main icons in the community, Brother Leo Muhammad of the Nation of Islam, London.
So listen, I'm going to outro with Captain Ibrahim's fiery speech. You can stay on for as long as you need to watch that if you want to, or you can look it up on YouTube. It's up to you. But let's outro with that. And I just want to make the point, you know, that this fight is bigger than any type of beef that we may have individually, familiarly, with community or wherever. It's bigger than all of that. I came together at the march with this sister here. Brown Sugar, Katie, imagine that. After the big war that we had online, when this sister decided it was her place to attack our movement, woman to woman, she was looking quabs with me at the march. At first, I denied her. And I put it on her. I said to her, me and you need to talk. Do you understand? And what this sister needs to understand, and it was said, yeah, is that we can do that in the moment. We can fight on the battlefields, but misbehave and start to move like the op that you were moving like before, and I still cut your throat. Doesn't matter about a photo op. But in the moment, we need to come together. And I was very disappointed. Somebody said earlier on about they were disappointed in the numbers as well. I kind of expected, I thought it would be less, knowing what I know about Black British people. You know, people were saying, oh, I had work and whatever. So what? I didn't. I lost a whole day's wedge, and I'm a consultant that works for myself. I lost a whole day's wedge, dropped everything and went down there. Do you understand? And that's the kind of mindset that we need to be keeping up. Fuck work. Excuse my French. Because when your sons and daughters are going to be frying in this place and we ain't got nowhere to go because our motherland is in ruins, then you might say, well, do you know what? It didn't matter anyway because the job's gone, totally gone. But there was an absence of certain commentators that I did find disappointed. You know, where was this guy? He weren't there. Or even this guy. This guy particularly, because he has a massive, massive, massive platform. There was so many people that shouldn't have been there. Yeah. Anyway, do you know what? I just saw something that I uploaded, but I will save that for next week. That's a whole different topic, and I don't really want to get off the energy of it all. But guys, listen, we know what time it is. Take it or let it alone. I know what I'm going to be doing. You guys are going to see in a few short days, as the scripture says, a very big shift in this platform, because there are certain elements that are coming where we're going to have to galvanize for ourselves. That's what we're going to have to do, while at the same time keeping our community safe from itself, which is what we've been doing for 4.5, 5 years, you know, in just our tiny little corner with that tiny little issue, because there are so many issues, you know, but that's going to mushroom out. And we need vanguard. We need a lot of things. We're already mobilized as a community. This is a community. This is what this is. It's already a community. It's an online community that meets once a year on the streets of Brixton. We're already a community. So when there's unrest in our places and in our spaces, it's things like this. It's the Black church. It's those who are already organized within themselves that will be able to change course and apply themselves to that situation. Very important. Very, very important. You understand? So it isn't just about shouting out wrong uns all week. This is a huge thing that is dynamic, and we really, really, really have to see it in those terms. I can't make it any simpler than that, people. But as I said, I'm going to outro. Blessed love. See you guys next week. And I'm going to outro with Brother Ibrahim Traoré and one of his most iconic speeches. This guy is just clocking up iconic moments like, wow. You know, he's a very eloquent, very switched on young man. He talks about social media and utilizing it despite its disadvantages. He's got his finger on the buzz when it comes to, sorry, I've just seen something again. When it comes on to economics and how to actually build economy and build infrastructure and stuff. He's a very switched on young man for a captain of an army. Very switched on indeed, you know? And that's some people are going, oh, he's a plant. You know, in the same way that the West planted Al-Qaeda and that they were controlled by the CIA and they bamboozled people. But it isn't that kind of fight. It really, really isn't. He's taking back his oil reserves. He's causing Ghana to follow suit. Ghana, the Gold Coast, one of the biggest exporters, if not the biggest exporter of gold in the world. And now foreign people, Western people, cannot get their muddy little hands on it. Come on, man, this stuff is unprecedented. It's also unprecedented, as I said in the address at the demonstration. We've never seen everybody stand up on the same day at the same time, under the same leader, under the same cause. It's not happened. It's not happened. Not in well over 100 years, if not more. If not more, probably millennia since that happened. And we didn't have a diaspora in those days, you know. But yeah, let's have a look at it, guys. Let's have a look. Oh, and I'm going to show you a clip as well from the Italian president who's jumping on. And I wonder what the agenda is behind that, because I certainly don't trust the Italians. It's not insignificant that their Pope, which I believe will be the last Pope, has just passed over. That's a whole nother topic for another day. Hold on.
I love Monday.com.
What's Monday.com?
You don't know Monday.com? This is Monday.com. It's a platform.
Si chiama Franco CFA. È la moneta coloniale.
Voiced her support for Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Her statement has raised eyebrows and sparked fierce debates.
Questo si chiama Franco CFA. È la moneta coloniale che la Francia stampa per 14 nazioni africane, alle quali applica il signoraggio e in forza delle quali sfrutta le risorse di questa nazione. Questo è un bambino che lavora in una miniera d'oro in Burkina Faso. Il Burkina Faso è una delle nazioni più povere del mondo. Per il Burkina Faso, che ha l'oro, la Francia stampa moneta coloniale. In cambio pretende che finiscano nelle casse del tesoro francese il 50% di tutto quello che il Burkina Faso esporta. L'oro che questo bambino si infila in un cunicolo per tirare fuori finisce per lo più nelle casse dello Stato francese. Allora la soluzione non è prendere gli africani e spostarli in Europa. La soluzione è liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e consentire a queste persone di vivere di quello che hanno.
Is her declaration truly in solidarity with Africa's struggle?
Well, I don't believe it is truly in solidarity. I think she's trying to air out beef with France, because Italians and France have always had some kind of historic beef of one description or another. You know, that's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. I'm trying to find the actual speech that he did. Let's have a search for that. Actually, there's a particular speech he did in 2023, I think it was, that got the wrong one. Never mind. That really was the one that sparked Western fear and started the attacks on him, you know? Yeah. Let's have a look at that. I think this could be it. 12 minutes. Okay, let's have a look at that. Brilliant speech, by the way.
The citizen vigilance that you have engaged is a message to all of Africa. And Burkina Faso is in solidarity and supports all the peoples of Africa who suffer martyrdom. But we also want to say that it is time for Africans to stop pitying themselves, to stop moping, to stop lamenting. You have to fight. It will not come from heaven alone. You have to fight first, and God will help you. The speech you are about to listen to is the single speech that made France, through ECOWAS and the West, to want to take out Captain Ibrahim Traoré right now. This fierce speech ripped the mask off imperialism, exposing the West's many decades-long sabotage and calling on Africans to fight for real sovereignty. Traoré didn't just name the enemy, he laid bare their entire playbook, from manufactured terror to economic strangulation. He shattered the old illusion that Africans must forever beg or obey, and he made it clear this continent will no longer be a playground for imperialists. This definitely angered them to the core, and now we see their moves and tactics to try to take out Traoré. This speech will fire you up. Have a listen, and please share your thoughts with us all in the comments section. This is Uplifting Africa. Comrades, I would like us to give thanks to God who has shown us this day and who has allowed us to gather here. Let us pay homage to our FDS and our valiant VDP who are fighting on the front lines. And it is thanks to them that we can gather here to commune. Let us also pay homage to you, those who have been nicknamed the Watchmen. And you who watch over this transition, you who watch over the path we have traced, thank you very much. We cannot make a revolution without communicating. Some will say that we should not talk too much, but when we do not talk, manipulation takes over the field. Understand something. The father of the revolution communicated a lot. I am speaking here of Thomas Sankara. In one of his speeches, he told you this: imperialism is a bad student because when it is chased out of the classroom, it comes back. It always comes back. And I remember that in his address to his peers in ECOWAS, he said that to cut the umbilical cord that binds us to imperialism, you would not look for a state magician with clever fingers, a well-sharpened scissor to cut this cord. But rather, you would need a robust lumberjack with a well-sharpened axe to give a sharp blow and cut the cord. That says it all. I will explain a little how imperialism behaves. After the assassination of the father of the revolution, precisely the regime that imperialism wanted was installed. In the 90s, you all remember a program that was imposed on us, the Structural Adjustment Program. It was a plan. I will explain. By implementing this program in our countries, you noticed, over the 2 decades that followed, that all our factories that were in place were privatized. Our economy was destructured. They put in place a neo-colonial system, a system of wild capitalism that only benefits the leaders and their friends, a restricted circle. On the side of the forces, they did everything to destruct our armies. They said to lower the army budgets, to no longer equip them, to no longer train them, which was done in the sub-region. Our armies were reduced to nothing. They were preparing things. During this time, large countries like Niger and Mali experienced a resurgence of what they called rebellions. Separatists who came from nowhere tried to divide these countries. They did not succeed, but the culmination of their plan was that from the 2010s, that is, 20 years later, terrorism invited itself into our territories. Indeed, we saw it born 20 years later. Individuals were chosen, and they were simply told, go fight them. Their armies are destructured. We have worked to make this happen. They will never be able to stop you, and you will impose what we want. These individuals recruited innocent, ignorant young people in our various campaigns, to whom they gave drugs and led them to kill their compatriots, and evil was born. How were these individuals maintained? Do not forget that here in Burkina Faso, we were hosting terrorist leaders. It was well planned. And how to achieve this? When these terrorists were about to launch, there was someone who could perhaps intervene in favor of our states. I am naming here the late General Muammar Gaddafi. He had to be eliminated. And one fine day they fell on him. They eliminated him. They also had in this plan the ingenious idea of putting all sources of weapons and ammunition at the disposal of these terrorists who were to destruct our sub-region. The plan was perfect, and then they got into battle order.
ils se sont mis en ordre de bataille. Ils ont commencé à descendre
They
vers
started
le
to
sud.
descend towards the south.
Nous nous souvenons encore lorsque le régime en place à
We
Bamako
still remember when the regime in place in Bamako at the time called on foreign forces.
Il ne fallait pas plus que
EasyJet's Big Orange sale is now on. Get up to 20% off flights. Book now at easyjet.com. Get out there.
It did not take more than a few hours for them to deploy. It was well prepared.
Ils se sont déployés, ils ont fait semblant
They deployed.
d'arrêter.
They pretended to stop terrorism.
Et immédiatement, nous avons vu l'installation
And immediately we saw the installation of several foreign forces in Mali for 10 years.
Pendant ces 10 années où le terrorisme
During
était
these
contre
10
nous,
years when terrorism was contained in the north, it invited itself to the south, and Burkina Faso was infested from 2015.
tout était bien planifié et bien
Everything was well planned and well thought
Je me
out.
souviens encore quand nous étions
I still
à
remember when we were in Ber in northern Timbuktu.
On voyait donc des forces
We
spéciales
saw
de ces
special
pays-là
forces from these countries come
venir nous
and pass us,
dépasser,
go deeper,
aller plus
and
en
on their
profondeur.
return, they were
Et à
covered in
leur
red.
retour, ils étaient tout rouges. Ils ont des petites machines de foreuses.
They had small
bien
drilling
d'autres
machines
équipements
and
de
other
géologie
geological equipment
que
that
nous
we contemplated.
On se demandait où est-ce qu'ils gagnaient cette
We
rouge.
wondered
Parce
where
qu'en
they got this red
patrouillant
earth,
autour de Ber,
because when
nous
patrolling
n'avons
around
pas de
Ber,
terre rouge.
we do not have red earth.
Peut-être qu'ils creusaient, ils sondaient, nous ne savons pas de
Perhaps
quoi.
they were digging, they were
Le
probing.
ciel
We do
malien
not know what it
n'appartenait plus
was.
aux Maliens.
The Malian sky no longer belonged
Tout
to
était bien
Malians.
pensé.
Everything was well
Lorsque
thought out.
Des gens
When people who were fighting on the
combattaient sur le
ground
terrain
also
ont
made
fait
the
aussi le
observation,
constat
they decided at one point to
décidé
take
à un moment
responsibility.
donné de prendre
And here
les
they are,
responsabilités.
coming out of nowhere. We are called
Et les voilà
putschists.
sortis de nulle part. On nous traite de putschistes. Nous ne sommes pas français, nous ne comprenons pas ce que
We
ça
are not
veut dire.
French. We do not understand what that means.
Et les valets locaux qui sûrement
The local lackeys, who surely do not even understand the deep meaning of the word,
nous
also
appellent
call us
aussi
putschists.
putschistes. Très bien, on se l'approprie.
Very well, we appropriate it.
Au fil de ces années, pour ce qui concerne le Burkina Faso,
Over these years, as far as Burkina Faso is concerned, you must have noticed that all the corps have been destructured. No more training, nothing for the
plus
army.
rien pour l'armée. Ils ont imposé dans tous
They
nos
imposed in
états-majors,
all our general
toutes nos
staffs,
écoles et
all
tous
our
nos
schools,
stratégiques,
and all our strategic
ce qu'ils ont
structures,
appelé des
what they called
conseils militaires.
military advisors.
Lorsque nous nous sommes révoltés le 30 septembre,
When we revolted on September 30th, 2022, the first thing was to find out who these military advisors were and where they were.
nous avons donc pu identifier que le mal est
We were therefore able to identify
Et la
that the
première
evil
des
was
choses
deep,
était de leur
and the
demander
first thing was to ask them to leave our army.
Ils sont partis.
They left,
Et ce
and as
que
I
je
was
vous
telling
disais
you not
il y a
long
pas
ago,
longtemps, vous ne pouvez pas
you
espérer
cannot hope to
retrouver
find your
votre
lost
objet
object
perdu en faisant
by
appel
asking the one who
à
stole
celui
it from
qui
you
vous l'a
to come and
volé
help you look
de
for it.
venir vous aider à le chercher. Il fallait dès lors décider.
It was therefore necessary
prendre
to
des
decide to
décisions
take
pour
courageous
l'avenir.
decisions, which we
Ce que
decided to
nous
do.
avons décidé de faire. Ça n'a pas été sans conséquence.
It was not without
Parce que
consequence,
lorsque nous
because
avons
when we asked
déjà
the
demandé
advisors
au
to
conseiller
leave,
de partir,
we felt
nous
demonstrations.
avons senti des manifestations. On nous a fait comprendre
We were
qu'on
made to
ne pourra pas
understand
s'en
that we could
sortir
not get
sans
by
eux.
without them.
Et à
And
chaque
every
fois
time they
qu'ils nous
told
le
us that,
disaient,
it
ça se
translated
traduit par
into
des
large-scale
attaques
attacks on
d'envergure
the
sur le
ground.
terrain. Nous avons bien reçu le message.
We received the message well.
Lorsqu'à l'orée donc de l'année 2023,
When at the beginning of
nous avons décidé
2023,
de dire
we
donc
decided
aux
to tell the
forces
foreign
étrangères
forces
présentes
present here
ici
to leave, because we want to fight as Burkinabe. They surely did not appreciate it. But why come to die on our lands? We prefer to fight ourselves. We asked them to return to their homes. Unfortunately, I tell you here today, as I like to say, colonization has returned. There are drawing room slaves who still have not understood. At that time, military officers wrote to us and approached us to tell us that it was a very bad decision and that we would not last 2 months. Files were written. We were given these files to give us a strategic analysis of their thoughts. We said it is either we are sovereign or we remain slaves forever. Indeed, when the last soldier left Burkina Faso, we understood what it was all about. The attacks followed immediately, from Tinakov to Partiaga, and so on. But what they had forgotten is that the people of Burkina Faso had understood our message and had embarked on the same path as us. We reorganized quickly, and suddenly we noticed that all the dormant terrorist cells had woken up in Burkina Faso. We reorganized the army as quickly as possible, at an unparalleled speed. We created several units, and even if several others are to come, we have equipped them. And today, this equipment continues because in the days to come, the months to come, what you will see coming to Burkina Faso must make our army a force to be feared. We will not skimp on the means. We have understood that the fight that is engaged against imperialism will be hard, very hard. But only the tough will pass, and the Burkinabe are tough, and we will pass. It is to tell you that imperialism has all the time it wants. When it wants to destabilize, it looks in the immediate. If it is not possible, it lays the groundwork to do it in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But it has no interest in us being independent today. All they want for Burkina Faso is chaos, because they hope to bring their foreign forces here and hope to recover the situation in 10 years, even in 20 years. But we will never let them achieve this goal. Mais nous ne les laisserons jamais parvenir à cet objectif. Voilà pourquoi. That is why we have warned for more than a year the local lackeys, the drawing room slaves, not to betray their homeland for the benefit of imperialism. Pour que ils ne trahissent pas leur patrie au profit de l'impérialisme. Some have understood, they have fallen into line. Others have not understood, perhaps believing themselves to be smarter. But today we no longer have feelings on this issue. Anyone who betrays their homeland for the benefit of imperialism will be treated as such. Before we continue, if you love what we do here on this channel and would like to support us, then you might consider
Bless up, people. Bless up, bless up. So that was him. Listen, if you want to see more, go over to YouTube. There's loads and loads of stuff on there. I got to go. I've literally got baby Afua and Blue to my right, making faces at me and going on stupid. I bet I turn the camera around on you. Then what are you going to do? Gotta go, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys next week, and we'll be coming back with a story from Birmingham, inshallah. Blessed love, people. Blessed love.